Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of my wonderful and beautiful little subscribers out there. And how I love you all so, and I hope that you're all super duper well, super duper wonderful, and super duper delicious. That doesn't mean that. And the life is treating you most deliciously. Now then, it's what's the time, Mr. Wall? So it's 22 minutes past 1 in the afternoon in our old England, my delicious little babies. We've got another grey sky. A little bit windy, milder than it was yesterday. It looks a bit brighter, but then it goes dull again, okay? And that's the weather forecast, my delicious little babies in my neck of the woods. And I hope that wherever you are, my little beautifuls, that the weather's better where you are, okay? Now then, what shall I say? So I've got to mention this. That doesn't mean that. Oh, is it chin? Anyway, sorry about that, my delicious babies. Yeah. So yesterday evening, I've just got to tell you this, okay? So, not to be too personal, like, and everything, okay? Like too much information. But I opened my door, my front door, and somebody had taken it, upon themselves to put a like a women's Tampax tampon. It was unused, okay? But, they just went to all the trouble to put it outside my front door. My delicious little babies, can you see? So, so I throw a butter sausage and I get thrown back a Tampax tampon, my delicious little babies. Do you know what I mean? Okay? I just thought I'd mention it. Well, I've never had that before. So that's the first, isn't it, my delicious little babies? So we've seen all we've seen umbrellas, we've seen trolleys, we've seen panorama coal, what you put your coal on. We've seen lots of suitcases. Okay, but I have not been thrown an unused Tampax tampon, my delicious little baby. So that's a new one for myself, anyway. Well, do as they will, just let them carry on. Okay, my delicious babies. So it obviously could have a number of meanings, couldn't it? There was something in the when was it? Was it a few months ago or something where ones were talking about, what was it? Was it tampon someone, in the alternative media? Anyway, well, that could be one of them, you know what I mean, my delicious babies. And of course, there could be many other reasons, you know what I mean, okay? So I'm sure there we are, that the list is endless, okay? Now then, my delicious little babies. So, what have we got for you? Just got that song. We're gonna rock down to Electric Avenue, and then we'll take it higher. Do you remember that song? Oh, oh. Do, 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 do. That's, just as I was just like about to tell you, I just got that song, okay? Now then, my delicious little babies, every now and again it pops up. Now, right, okay, so I'm going to go with this one first. So this is on Substack, my delicious little babies, and so you'd only have to type in, search engine of your choice, Substack. It's, all one word. And, then it'll come up orange, But anyway, before that, if you have not installed it, then it'll say install, and then it all comes up orange. Do you know what I mean? My delicious little babies, see a lot of it orange, don't we? Orange and lemons. Okay, my delicious little babies. Now then, so this uploader, if you was to type it into the older search engine, my delicious little babies, capital P, Farmer. Now this is two words together, capital F, files. So it's capital P, Farmer, and then capital F, files, but it's two words into one. Then a space, lowercase by, by, and then space, capital A, Aussie, AUSSIE, then 17. Okay, my delicious babies. So Aussie 17, that's together. Okay, that's the uploader on Substack, my delicious little babies. And this, now I'm taking you back here, my delicious little babies, to the 11th of April 2024. Okay, my delicious little babies. And the video should read, a message from Japan to the world. Professor Masayasu Inu. Okay, my delicious little babies. So I'm just going to repeat that again for you, shall I? A message from Japan to the world. Professor Masayasu Inu. Okay, 3, 2, 1. My juice little lights. Thank you, little lights. You're delicious and bright. Yeah, they're becoming less and less, aren't they? My delicious little babies. You know what I mean? Anyway, yeah. So this video is about just over 8.5 minutes long, my delicious little babies, and well, he was warning the world, this professor, bless, about what they're doing, and of course, this is well against one's mankind rights. Okay, my delicious little babies, and he was pointing everything out. Okay, you're probably wondering, well, why am I going backwards? I'm going backwards because there's a lot that has followed since 2024, my delicious little babies. Not to mention that poxy, I mentioned it the other day, that poxy flipping COVID inquiry, my delicious little babies. Okay, you have to see, there we are, from where it was to where it is now. For myself, looking at this Japanese leader, she's a woman, isn't she? Well, we will just see, won't we, my delicious little babies? But myself personally, I do not hold out much hope there. Okay, I mean, for Japan, I mean, they've had many things that I feel taken away from them, bless them. Okay, with anybody not in that way. And they have gone through the most awful times, that ones could go through when it was once a country, where they never let anybody in. Do you know what I mean? Martin little babies can. I as well feel that, and this is for the rest of the world as well. Okay, that doesn't mean no. Okay, I feel that if you look at, for most of the world, our country and other countries, the countries that I feel seem to, that we are thrive, which is the ones that you do not really hear about, Mars and sugar babies, are the ones that, well, they do not have tourists, or they do not have, let's just say, a certain level of input from other countries, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I mean? Okay. But yes, so Japan suffered. Well, we're suffering right now. I mean, I was just watching a video. I wasn't going to advertise it, my delicious little babies, because it seems that there's parts of what the uploader was reading out that does not appear to be quite true, to do with Afghanistan, to do with the Taliban. But where my heart went out was for the little bairns, little babies, little bairns, and the women now, and how they were treated, okay, at certain times, in Afghanistan, my little babies. So, but of course, ones would, they would know about this. I mean, plus this video was showing, let's just say, they sort of blanked it out a bit, sort of smudged it a bit, but where they were shooting the poor women, and if they wasn't doing as they're told, do you know what I mean, and stoning them just for talking to a man, somebody who's not part of their family. It's just sickening. Now, isn't it amazing, my delicious little babies, because that never came up on my feed. I was looking for other videos, my delicious little babies. That doesn't mean yes. Now, say for example, if I was to click on for a film, which very rare I ever would, very, very, very rare you'd ever see me do that, okay? I still want to watch that mechanic one. 1972 Martelish Little Babies. But what it is, it asks you for proof of your age. Now, I've just watched that one, which was about 22 minutes long. And even though it's smudged out now, but there was other parts where you actually seen where they were whipping, because it's all control, isn't it? Martelish Babies sort of whipping women, hitting them with other objects, okay? So, well, when I looked at that video, there was no to do with my age, was there, Martelish Little Babies? Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm really saying with my noddle to your noddles, Martelish Little Babies? Yes. So it seems that YouTube likes to let some things slip through the net, it seems. Oh, one other thing as well. So that's the first one, Martelish Little Babies. Okay, so he was letting, ones know, and that, this is not good for mankind at all, and he was letting the world know. So this is why, there we are, I like to go backwards, but the most recent video on Farmer Files by Aussie17, I think that was uploaded 2 days ago. What was it to do with a German? I need to go back and look at it, Martelish Babies, but this is I think it's to do with a German doctor. Anyway, I think it's about 13 minutes long to listen to, or something like that, 11 or 13 minutes long. But yes, I mean, you can get some really damn good stuff on Substack, Martelish Little Babies. And there's another one on Substack called, Save Us Now, Mark Steele. Okay, Martelish Little Babies. I keep saying Mark Steele, but, it's Save Us. I think it's Save Us Now. Well, I'm subscribed anyway, Martelish Little Babies, but I'm using my dog and bone at the moment, Martelish Little Babies, sorry. But yes, and then you'll hear all the latest there, because and I do mention Mark from time to time, and like I say about anybody, not in that way. He is explaining about to do with these so-called cameras, to do with all the ULEZ and everything, Martelish Little Babies, because when they were putting the cameras up, the Blade Runners were coming along and taking them down. But when Mark, because he's skilled in this area, managed to get hold of one, to take a look, he could see everything what was in it. And it's very much a weapon indeed against mankind, Martelish Little Babies, you know what I mean? He also mentioned on another one of his videos, okay, ones maybe should not be standing so close to pedestrian roads, you know what I mean, or lights and things like this. Okay, Martelish Little Babies, just thought I'd mention it. But yeah, dear Mark's really good, bless him, not in that way. But please, if anybody has not subscribed to a Substack, then please do. There we are, because you'll get a world of information. There's plenty of reading, there's plenty of videos, okay? Then you can choose. And, for those of you who are just starting out, bless you, well, you may be drawn to somebody, do you know what I mean? Could be a doctor, could be, you know what I mean? Martelish Babies cat. Because as much as we got, let's just say, a colossal amount of doctors, nurses, consultants, surgeons, and everything else now who are absolutely wicked and putrid, okay? Personally should not be on this earth, in my view. You've also got others, there we are, who are really trying to make a difference and trying to, to find a way to help to sort this flipping world out. Martelish Little Babies, you know what I mean, okay? But as everybody would know, it's not that. I've just had many run-ins with doctors and nurses, Martelish Little Babies and consultants, you know what I mean? Let's just say we never usually agreed. You know what I mean, Martelish Little Babies, anyway. Need to personally get rid of that. I believe, there we are, we need to go back to natural healing, natural remedies, there we are, and everything like this now then, because it's quite clear to myself, there we are, as it has been for years now, that let's just say, to do with health has been severely hijacked, okay? Like I was looking at a video, when was I looking at a video now? Was it a couple of weeks ago? and it was to do with what was it now? It was on YouTube, Martinish Look Babies, and it was to do with Beecham's powders. I'm pretty sure it was Beecham's powders. And when I was looking for the videos, I should have, I'll have to type it in, and then I'll tell it you tomorrow. Okay, Martinish Look Babies, but when it first started out, it was like more of a natural. It was a natural product. Okay. But then somebody else got the mitts onto this, well, I suppose it's a formula, isn't it? Because everything, there we are, is a formula, isn't it? There we are. That's why, I see it anyway. And they decided to make changes, like putting, let's just say, different ingredients in that really I do not feel should be in one's bodies, my delicious little babies, if you know what I'm saying, yes. Now then, I'm going to tell you this now, okay? If I lose my channel completely, okay, because I've been threatened with this now, this morning, I think it was up when I looked at it, was it about 6 o'clock, 6:30? And it was telling me about that there's a comment. So YouTube's back at this again, my delicious little babies, okay? So there's a comment that I'd made, which I suppose it's is it offensive? I cannot say what's offensive. I can well assure you all of that, my delicious babies, I have not sent any offensive comments. Okay, and any uploaders, there we are now, who I've been sending comments to of late, that I have not sent any horrible, disrespectful comments, but it appears that they have found one. YouTube, yes, YouTube, okay, my delicious little babies. They're also threatening me in the same little paragraph, threatening me to remove my channel completely. Now, I've never had that before, my delicious little babies, okay? So, as I recall, I haven't had 2 strikes. So, I've had 1 strike. I was banged off for a week. Okay, my delicious little babies, okay? I've had a few copyrights taken down. I've also had a number of videos taken down to do with the old pandemic and to do with the old COVID, that it's misinformation. Okay, my delicious little babies. But this is something different. There we are. This is something different now. Okay. So it seems that YouTube's getting a little bit peed off with me. Well, guess what, YouTube? You're damn well pissing me off as well. Okay, so, we can always say, oh, yeah, well, thank you, because at least my videos, my information that I've given out, or if I've done my readings, at least that's got out. Because when I very first started doing my readings, I fell into that trap. That's just another thing I wanted to say, my delicious babies. I fell into a trap, which was, if you'd like to like and subscribe and all that, okay? Then, of course, one morning I woke up. There we are, ding, ding, dong, dong. And I had a light bulb moment, you know what I mean? That's the only way to explain it, my delicious about. And I thought, what am I saying this for? I thought, what am I saying this for? And then I was receiving, what's it called? Like where each week, your weekly reports. And I thought, F this now, for a game of soldiers. Do you understand what I mean, my delicious babies? Okay, this is how it is, my delicious babies, okay? And I thought, no. So when I looked at it, I saw the subscriber bit. Please do not get me wrong. When I talk about others and I say, please subscribe to their channel and everything, there we are. I'm doing it for a good thing because their reasons, my delicious babies, are different to my reasons, okay? Why I do not want subscribers, okay, my delicious babies. So that's nothing against the subscribers that are there. Okay, but like I said, the majority of them is to do with my readings that I was doing. Okay, my delicious little babies, okay? So, yeah. So, to be threatened to have my channel completely removed, there we are. And that was this morning. Early this morning, my delicious little babies, crack of dawn. Okay? So, it's very clear to myself, they're not a liking, there we are, what I'm saying. Okay, so can you see? So you can have one woman sat in my room, okay, and YouTube, there we are. Seems to be most, that we are bothered about this, my delicious babies. Do you see where I'm coming from? Yes. So just in case this happens, my delicious little babies, you will find me on Daily Motion. I've just got to finish off that last part. I've just got to ask somebody about something. Okay, my delicious little babies. But you'll be able to find me on Daily Space Motion. Okay, my delicious little babies. Okay. I was looking at some different, platforms and everything months ago, my delicious little babies, Kai, and well, what it is, I was thinking, well, what is going to be, and I thought, okay, because I've got to start from scratch. Okay, my delicious little babies, Kai. So I should be able to. So you see, the account has been set up. Okay, it's just to do this bloody verification, flipping codes, and every time I go to do it, I lose my emails. Anyway, I've already discussed this, my delicious little babies. Okay, so I'm going to ask somebody who will know a bit more. There we are, about how I can just sort that out, because I just need verification. That's it. Then it's up and running. Okay, my delicious little babies. So if it takes a couple of days or something, well, that's the way it is, my delicious little babies. But the fact of the matter is, what am I saying? What I'm saying to you is, my delicious little babies, is that, even though it's not a large platform, okay, I'm quite happy to go on there, okay? I could go back on Rumble, I suppose, my delicious little babies. Do you understand what I mean? And just start my channel, start up another channel. So I could do that, my delicious little babies. So, so there are some backups. Do you understand what I mean? There we are, my delicious little babies. But, of course, at least I managed to, on YouTube, give out, so I've got books of information that I've wrote down over the past nearly 4 years, because next month, it was 19th or 21st of December, it would be 4 years since I've been on YouTube. Okay, my delicious little babies. So if you do not see me, then you know the reason why. But they have threatened me. There we are. They have threatened me now. Okay, my delicious little babies. Okay, well, if that's the way it goes, then that's the way it goes. So the way I see it is, my delicious little babies, I'd just like to say to you all, thank you for any views, for any likes, or for any of the occasional comments that I have ever received. There we are. And I want to say that to you. Thank you. Okay. I will put myself more than likely either, I forgot what I flipping put now. I haven't got the information in front of me, to tell you what I put on Daily Motion. It'll either be Mia Tarot Virgo, or it'll be Woman with a View. It'll be one of those, my delicious little babies, okay? It's got to be one of those. Okay, my delicious little babies, but that's if you cannot, see my videos anymore, because there we are. You will know the reason why. Okay, my delicious little babies. So it's very interesting, isn't it, my delicious little babies, what the crack is, what's happened here. So now they've been bringing back the colossal uploaders. Do you see? There we are. Do you see what I mean, my delicious babies? And then when you're not needed anymore, like you've given out, there we are, plenty of information, okay, then they decide to pull a plug. Do you see what I mean, my delicious babies? Do you see how this rocks and, there we are, do you see how this rocks and rolls, my delicious babies, okay? Well, YouTube, you threaten me, ain't you? Okay, so if you're going to be done doing it, then just do it. At least let me get this video up, just so that others know where to find me. That's it. I'm just asking. I'm not going to say please, because you don't say please and thank you now, when you take videos down and when you bang ones off. where they cannot get back on again, when for a lot of them it was their livelihoods to help them with their businesses. Okay, so you don't say please and thank you then, do you, YouTube? Do you know what I mean? So I'm just saying it. So I'm not asking please. I was brought up with exceptionally good manners, my delicious little babies, to yourselves. But no, I know when to say please and I know when to say thank you, and this is not one of those times. So the next one, my delicious little babies, okay? Yeah, so it'd be Daily Motion. And then I'll be probably, you might be able to find me on Rumble, Woman with a View, or Mia Tarot Virgo. Okay, my delicious babies, because it looks like I'm going to have to do that. I wasn't very comfortable with going back on Rumble. I don't know what it is. I just wasn't very comfortable with it, my delicious babies, for some unknown strange reason. Anyway, now then, next one, my delicious babies. Now, this uploader happened to have 1.12 thousand subscribers, my delicious babies. And by the way, I'm super duper deliciously happy. And I want to just point this out to everybody, who's managed to get their channel back, all their channels on YouTube. I'm super duper and deliciously thankful, and happy about that, okay? Because they're all super duper wonderful, not in that way, okay? And they deserve to get their channels, back, do you know what I mean? So I'm really, really super duper happy about it. But for the majority of them, they've all got their own websites now anyway, you know what I mean? So what had taken place, some already had their own websites, my little babies, bless them. But for others, they got their own websites and they were going to other places and that, do you know what I mean? So in a way, I do get what some of them were saying. It did benefit them in a way. So from when that happened, but of course, one's learned a lesson now, because when they want to lock the world down again, do you know what I mean? Mad little babies, and just jab as many as possible, mad little babies. Well, you know what I mean? Ones have learned. There's an old-fashioned saying, isn't there, mad little babies? Once bitten, just a figure of speech, just an old-fashioned saying. Once bitten, twice shy. Do you see what I mean, mad little babies? And of course, for some, they're not interested about going back on YouTube because they've been setting themselves up elsewhere. I mean, please do not get me wrong. It's been a lot of sweat to do that. That's just a figure of speech. But, they're in a better place. Yes, YouTube is the largest. Yes, it is, okay? But I'm pretty sure that once you've got your name, shall we say, whether it is little or, large, the fact of the matter is that ones know you then, don't they? Mad little babies, you know what I mean? So really, it does its job, if you know what I mean, mad little babies can. So let's get back to the video. So this is called capital T in the old space bar on YouTube, mad little babies. Capital T 2 TWO space capital M minute, then space capital T timeline. Do you know what I just said, minute? Do you remember that? Was it Take That all those years ago? It only takes a minute, girl, to fall in love, to fall in love. Do you remember that song, Mad Little Babies? I don't know what's happening to me. Anyway, Mad Little Babies, getting back to the matter in hand, need to look at the year of that song and what was going on then, Mad Little Babies. So it should read, once tapped into the space bar on YouTube, 2-minute timeline. Now, what came into my noddle when I was looking at videos on YouTube this morning was the year 1895. There we are. That's what came into my noddle. So there I was scrolling and I got 1895. So what I typed into YouTube was what happened in the year. I could have gone through DuckDuckGo and just done a load of reading, but I thought just make this super duper quick. What happened in the year 1895, and what I come up with, this is all the twos, 3 little ducks, you know what I mean? 2.22 thousand subscribers, Mad. No, it isn't. Minutes. Sorry, because it's 1.12 thousand subscribers, Mad. Delicious little babies can. and it is 2.22 minutes, this video. And the video should read, Year 1895, a journey through history. And I'm going to leave it there for you, my delicious little babies, okay? Now then, the next one, my delicious little babies. So this is, so I do advertise from time to time. This uploader is now up to 171,000 subscribers, my delicious little babies, okay? And the video is called, the uploader, sorry, capital M Modi, then space, capital S Speaks. Modi space Speaks, okay? And yeah, she bangs out some very good videos. Bless her, not in that way, not in that way. The video should read, I've already heard about this, so just to let everybody know, I have already heard about this, my delicious babies. Muslim immigrant throws tantrum because Christmas, you know, the fake Crimbo. Christmas market isn't halal enough. Yeah, stumbled there. Rightfully so, my delicious baby. So I'm just going to repeat that again for you, shall I? Muslim immigrant throws tantrum because Christmas market isn't halal enough. Yes, my delicious babies. Now, Modi's video is 14 minutes and so many seconds. Okay, my delicious babies. And yeah, you see, we know about, sorry, excuse me. We know about the halal. For most who know. And it is not by any means a very nice way for our beautiful little babies, beautiful little animals, for the end of their life. My delicious little babies, put it that way. But this one here now, your man here is raving on about it. Then he's going on about all the sweet food, you know, and everything. And in between that, there's somebody who's having a talk and everything. And then, of course, when it's translated, what's my point in it? The way I see it is, ones have had Christmas markets in England, for however long. Yeah, stumbled there, rightfully so. So what is it now in recent times where this is happening? Okay. I feel one of the things is, especially if somebody's videoing themselves like this, I think that is quite possibly for clicks. There we are. I would say that is one of it. Okay, my delicious little babies. Plus the fact, it's just to, I feel, that doesn't mean no, just to aggravate and there we are, irritate others. The way I see it is, simple things. If ones want to have their own religious, what they want to do, then just be done doing it. But don't come into others now and try and turn others. Okay? I personally feel it's putrid what they do to these beautiful, dear little animals. There we are. And I've known long time, for years, about this. And of course, you know, so whatever one's beliefs is entirely up to theirs. The fact of the matter is, this, the way it's done is, well, there's no real good way, but the fact of the matter is that is, what's the word that Modi used? This is not the first time I've heard it anyway, my babies over the years. Very outdated. But you shouldn't go and bring your business onto somebody else's business. This is what I'm saying, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I'm saying? This is the whole issue here. Just like, and there's something else I want to say. Anyway, Modi is very good, bless her. If you want to take a listen to that video, my delicious little babies. But this is not me having a go at other religions. Just live and let, just be done doing what they're doing. But it makes myself wonder, because there's been too much input from our country, the putrid governments, over the decades. America's governments, right, okay, they seem to be the main two culprits, okay, my delicious little babies. And then you've got other countries, right, who have gone into other countries now, like Afghanistan and all different places, okay, and then they end up here. So if you look at it, do you not feel that this is a bit like There we are. I'm trying to find the best words to use. I know what I'm saying. It's like it's payback, isn't it? Like what they've been doing in other countries now, come back on our doorstep. There we are. That's what I'm done saying, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I mean? Okay. But to myself, no. If, you know, we do things one way, you know, in our country, and another religion, whatever, they do it their way. Okay, we'd just leave it like that. I would just prefer that not to be. But anyway, but the fact of the matter is that very sadly, this is the world that we live in. But don't put your business on another religion or another. Do you understand what I mean? So if somebody does not want to eat halal meat, they do not want to eat halal meat. So what they're putting their fucking business onto others for? So if somebody's English now, right, and then they do, sorry, excuse me, things a different way, okay, then they do things a different way, okay? But this is what we're dealing with, my delicious little babies, okay? If you look at the original, Islam or the original Sharia law, it is very, very, very different decades ago, okay? Okay, you can take bits and pieces out, but the fact of the matter is it was very different. What's happened is there's been lots of different things now which have been added on, and some things have been kept there, okay, which I do not feel are very good, okay? That's just my view, okay? But do I go into their business and say, okay, you have a piece of meat that's English that is not halal? So do I go into anybody's business, whether it's on my road or wherever I am? Do I do that? No, I do not. And to be perfectly honest, I do not know any other English who does that either. So why come on the camera like that with this business that everybody must, you know, at a Christmas market, that ones are just walking around, just wanting to live their normal everyday lives, whatever our definition of normal is, okay, my delicious babies, and then, you know, have this kind of silly business now. This is totally wrong. You know, nobody should be putting their damn selves onto others. Do you know what I mean, my delicious babies? Do you see what I'm saying here? You see, I get along with many. Anyway, I'm not even going to go down that road. Anyone, there we are, who knows me knows who I am. But, you know, it's like one can say something now and somebody else cannot. Do you see what I'm saying, my delicious babies? No. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. So, you know, if ones do not want to eat halal meat, they do not want to eat it. They shouldn't have to have it put in a fucking birth race. Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies? This is where it's going totally wrong, my delicious little babies. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just, you know, just done saying it at the end of the day. But you can certainly see, even, bless her, on Modi's face, bless it. You know what I mean? Because she can see, like I can see. And I'm pretty sure, there we are, there's many others now in the world who can also see. You know what I mean, my delicious little babies, okay? But anyway, so that's that one, a good little video, that is. But yeah, just don't come putting your business on others. Do you know what I mean? Because ones are just not alike in it. Next one, my delicious little babies. So this one here, oh yeah, we're back now. Sorry, my delicious babies. Yeah, I stumbled on here as well. Wait until I tell you this. For some of you, you might know my delicious little babies, but for others of you, you may not be aware of this. In the old space bar in YouTube, my delicious little babies, capital P, I've only advertised these once before. Capital P, pink, space, capital S, sugar, space, muck, capital M, mukbang. So that's spelled MUKBANG, mukbang. So it should read, once tapped into the space bar on YouTube, pink sugar mukbang. They're now up to 44,400 subscribers, my delicious little babies. I'm very pleased, actually, because the numbers have been going up. are ones who have been advertising my delicious little babies. So I'm really pleased about that, okay? You know, because it helps everybody's channels, doesn't it? Okay, my delicious little babies. Now then, this video, I should have mentioned this a few days ago, actually. I completely flipping forgot, didn't I? It was either a few days ago. Exposed. India makes your Danish butter cookies, and in brackets, and it's not hygienic. Okay, my delicious baby. So I just thought I'd repeat this again for you, shall I? Exposed. India makes your Danish butter cookies, and it's not hygienic, in brackets. Yes, my delicious babies. It's not very long. How many minutes is it? Is that about 14 minutes or something like that? Yeah. They show you how it's done, my delicious babies, and then, of course, you know, then it lands in our shops. But on the tin, it says Danish, my delicious babies. So me personally, I cannot even remember the last time I ever ate a Danish cookie. It must be, there we are, it must be years and years and years and years since I've ever had a cookie like that. Okay, my delicious babies, many, 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 there we are, years. Okay, I've been bought them, and to be quite honest with you, my delicious babies, over the years, but I've usually left them sealed because I've usually had other biscuits and things like this, so then I just give them away. Okay, my delicious babies, so there we are, I'm just being honest. Like, even if I've been bought, well, they used to be tins of chocolates, they're not tins anymore, my delicious babies, everything is plastic. Okay, my delicious babies, including some of the food that, you know, that we consume, you know, has plastic in it that we're not quite being aware of, shall we say. Well, I've been aware for a long time, but you just got to look at everything, haven't you, my delicious babies, anyway? So if anybody eats Danish cookies out there, my delicious babies, if you're going to your local supermarket, then I'd strongly suggest that you look on the back of the tin, right at the bottom. It clearly says India. Okay, my delicious babies, now then. So the final one, my delicious babies, this is the video that I was going to mention a couple of days ago. This uploader happens to have 2.72,000 subscribers, my delicious babies, on old YouTube. And it is called The Uploader, to be typed in, please and thank you, should anybody have any form of an interest. Capital T, the space, capital W, Webster. Okay, my delicious babies. So it's WEBSTER, Webster, because, you know, Webster can be spelt with a double B, can't it, my delicious babies, okay? Then space, capital R, report. So that is the uploader, my delicious babies. So it should read the space, Webster space, report. Okay, my delicious babies. And the video should read, and this is just over 14 minutes long, again, my delicious babies, or is it 17? Oh, I know it's one of them. Could be 17, my delicious babies. Gas, electric, and water. Why did I put electric again? Oh, yeah, it's probably because it's going up, isn't it, my delicious babies? I'll change that to water. Gas, electric, and water are free. Why have I wrote everything wrong here? Are free. That should have said free, not from. What's happened there, my delicious babies? You know what I think it was? I was concentrating, oh, sorry, excuse me, in the kitchen, and I was concentrating on something else. I think I could have been, because I've already listened to this once, my delicious babies, so I went back to, because I saved it, to write it down. But then what I must have been doing is scrolling down, looking for other videos as well. So it's not that I was not interested. I've kept it there so I can listen to it again. But all it is, my delicious babies, I just wrote everything wrong on this one. Okay. Anyway, he's not wrong in what he's saying, my delicious babies. So, yes. So, if more and more can please and thank you take a look at that video as well, my delicious babies, then I'll be super duper, and there we are, and deliciously happy. Okay, my delicious baby. So that's all the videos. So let's close our book and let's go back to where we need to go back to, shall we, my delicious baby? So yeah, so all I want to say really is that he explains, bless him, not in that way, not in that way, this dear uploader, what he has done in order to explain to these, because like post offices and, well, I mean, if you look at it, the water board, you know, the average Joe blog, just figure of speech, who works in these places, gas, electric and all these places, for the average white collars, they have absolutely no idea, you know, to do with, you know, let's just say what is truly ours and what is truly free. And there we are. And I've been saying this long time. It's very interesting, some of the comments. Now, there's one comment, it was the second one down. I mean, mind you, I don't know because I haven't looked, I think, for about an hour. See, there might be some more comments, but where they put somebody had put, bless them, not in that way, not in that way. What did I put? I've been telling ones for years that water, what is it? That gas, all of this basically, gas, water, electric, and that. Is paid by the taxes, and she says all about that, mad delicious babies. It's not very long, but and she doesn't pay, or he doesn't pay for what is it? I think doesn't pay for the water and doesn't pay for the electric, and hasn't for the past 7 years. Okay, mad delicious babies. So there we are. So there's always ways around, but it's like what I say, isn't it? Sorry, excuse me, mad delicious little babies. There must be a lot going on in France. Got a terrible frog in my throat today. The fact of the matter is, when you receive a letter, I've asked before, I'll ask again, who is the signature that's been photocopied? Did anybody contract to this? Nobody contracted. And that is why I believe that they brought in the water meters. That's why I believe that they brought in the water meters. You see what I mean? Okay. Now, they do say that once those water meters are in, that was years and years and years ago. Once the water meters are in, they do say you cannot take them out. Well, the way I see it is that once they're in, you should be able to take them out, shouldn't you, my delicious babies? I do not get why one say that you cannot. They do the same with the smart meters, you know, where there's nothing smart about those, my delicious babies. And I'm still receiving, you know, emails to book my appointment, you know, because it's all for free. You know what I mean? My delicious babies, there's nothing free about it. They say that once that's been installed, that you cannot take it out. Well, I suppose at one time they probably said that about the pay as you go, which is what I have, gas and electric, martyrs, babies. So I suppose at one time, many moons ago, they probably would have said, oh, once your meter's in, you cannot take it out. So there we are. Can you see how this works over the years and decades, martyrs, babies, because they don't want, this is the wording, you see, because I mean, I'm just talking about this now. This is nothing to do with this video, martyrs, babies. It's just that they pick and choose, don't they? Okay. So, well, we cannot take it out. You know what I mean? I remember decades ago, because we used to use meters when I was little. And the gas and electric, Lecky, used to come round. Was it every few months or something? And then they used to work out like 50 pence pieces. And they used to work out how much gas or electric that you'd used. And then let me tell you, you got a pile of change back. Ka-ching, ching, ching. You got a pile of change back, my delicious little babies. Do you know what I mean? That's how they used to operate many moons ago, like in the early 1980s, my delicious little babies. Do you know what I mean? So it was probably a bit before that, but I couldn't remember that part. Do you know what I mean? I just remember when they used to come round. Do you know what I mean? And of course, what my dear dad did, bless him, he used to put that extra change. So he'd never break into it. What he'd do, he'd put it towards our holiday, like if we were going to Spain or something like that. So he'd put all that change towards the holiday, do you know, as well as saving in the year, do you know what I mean? There we are, my delicious little babies, do you see what I mean? Well, how long gone are those days? And of course, if they were back now, there we are, them ones, there we are, could live a lot better. Do you understand what I mean, my delicious little babies? It's like, you know, at one time they used to, and I knew somebody, in fact, I knew a few actually, going back decades ago, we never did, okay? I never knew it existed until, you know, somebody told me about it. So I never knew decades ago, you know what I mean? It's only when I was told decades ago, do you know, but I never knew that even existed, you know. But where they used to put the ka-ching in the television at the back, you know, and, you know, then of course they'd come round and empty it, and, you know what I mean? I think you used to get change back from that. I'm not sure about that. Do you know what I mean? Mad delicious. I remember at one time, going back decades. I mean, I'm going back from when I was little, you know, like with the old ring, 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 you know. And I knew one family, bless, they actually had a payphone, a proper payphone in their home. So in order to use the dog and burn map, we never did, because, you know, we had, you know, early 80s and that, you know, had a house phone and that, you know what I mean? But I'm talking about, you know, in the late 70s, my delicious little babies, and they had, yeah, so in order to use the dog and bone, you know, the mummy and daddy says, well, if you want to use the dog and bone, it's not free. You need to put the ka-ching in. And that's what I had to do, my delicious babies. It just took all my noddle back when I go back and remember there we are, these things now, do you know what I mean? My delicious babies, okay, yeah. And then they had another one where you'd have a lock on the, like, you know, the ring, you know, you just keep turning the dial, you know, where there was a lock. So you couldn't, if you thought you could use the dog and bone, you know, while your family were out, you didn't have a chance, you know what I mean? Because there was a lock on it, so it would go like that. You wouldn't be able to get no further, my delicious little babies. I remember that as well, my delicious little babies, you know what I mean? I remember all. It's only when I go back, there we are, you know what I mean, that I remember these things anyway, my delicious little babies. So that's the end of my video. I'll finish rambling on now. But yeah, you know, when you look back, you know, it was better times. There was times when it was better times, and, you know, and you look now. But of course, we're living in a world, we're robbing bees, ain't we, my delicious little babies, you know what I mean? They're just robbing effing bees, man. Plain and simple things, that's what they are. And they feel no why. But as I've said before so many times, you know, there's going to come a time, my delicious little babies, let me tell you, they're not exempt. So that doesn't mean, yes, you know, they're not exempt, you know what I mean? So they're not going to get a place on the birth, you know what I mean, that they seem to think they are, do you know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure that for some of the politicians or whatever they are, if some of them did decide to take something, you know what I mean, I'm pretty sure they're not really going to be around for years and years and years to enjoy their ka-ching, ching, ching, their change, you know what I mean? Mad delicious babies anyway. So wherever you are in the world, whether it's morning, afternoon or evening, please have a super duper delicious time. You only get one life, my little honey bunnies. Sending peace, love, harmony and bright blessings to each and every one of you. And may your beautiful little selves, your beautiful little families, may you all be fully protected, and how I love you so. But yeah, it's true. And if their family's taking it, wasn't it Andrew Bridgen? The MP is no longer an MP. And he said that he spoke to some politicians. Well, he said it on camera, so I'm not saying anything that has not been said. And that for some of them, they end up with heart problems, you know, others are in a terrible way, the families, you know, and things like this now then. So all of that greed, you know, like when you're ka-ching hungry now. Do you see what I mean, okay? Well, I'm pretty sure for a lot of them, they're not going to be living a long enough life, there we are, to enjoy it, are they? And of course, if their families have had it, you know what I mean? Well, of course, they're all going to be the same. And I suppose there's going to be somebody there with a great big massive tractor to scoop up, you know, everything what it's worth, you know. Ka-ching, ching, ching, bing, 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 bing. Do you know what I mean, Martin? Babies, yes, okay. So that's not me being wicked. I'm just saying simple things. You know, Andrew Bridgen was told, wasn't he? The ones who've had heart attacks, others have had strokes, and they was telling them about it, but they're too scared to speak up. You know what I mean, Martin, little baby. So at the end of the day, I'm just simply simple things, just mentioning, you know. Anyway, so you just please look after yourself, okay? So it's morning, afternoon, or evening. Please have a super duper delicious time. You only get one life, my little honey bunnies. Sending peace, love, harmony, and bright blessings to each and every one of you. May your beautiful little selves, your beautiful little families, may you all be fully protected. And how I love you so. Please look after now and please try to take care of others because we are in a bonkers, crackers, and crazy world. Now to just babies. Love ya. Thank you once again for listening. Take care. Love you. Goodbye.